Hey everybody, it's Mark Yegi. Happy New Year. Welcome to 2026. Let's start off the year by having a great one, okay? The last 3 years have been pretty good in the stock market. I hope you've done well. It's been mixed out there for a lot of sectors, but there have been a couple of sectors that have been on fire, and if you caught those, good for you. 2026, a lot of people are saying it's not going to be a good year. I happen to think it's probably going to be a good year, but I'm an optimist, and you're generally too optimistic sometimes. But let's talk about some of those investment scenarios, and I'm going to try to whip through a couple of these things. Everybody is saying that there is limited easing ahead, that the Fed is not going to lower. The Fed has come out basically and said we're going to lower by 1/4 point. That's the only thing they've put on the table. But I happen to think that, Jerome Powell is gone, and Trump is going to put in his new guy. And when he puts in his new guy, Trump has traditionally been a person that's borrowed money to build things, right? Why would he change that? He believes in borrowing money at low rates to build things. And it's worked for him because you borrow money at really low rates, right? And then that is devaluing anyway because the dollar is devaluing. And then you pay it back with devalued dollars. And you spend money on infrastructure. I mean, look at New York City skyline, right? A bunch of Trump buildings up there, a bunch of other buildings. All that's been financed, right? It hasn't been paid in cash. So you get the benefit of upfront building things, and then you pay it back over time. So that's why I don't think we have a lot of limited easing ahead. We'll see. Lower prices are expected. Well, if you saw what happened in Venezuela at the beginning of the year here, you know that the general trajectory is for lower prices. And I think that's going to continue. Energy is going to be the story this year, guys. AI needs data. Data needs energy. Energy is going to be housed in these big data centers, right? And so all of those things are going to continue to increase, I believe. If you look at the top 3 highest performing stocks last year, they were all in data storage. And I think that continues, and I think AI energy continues, data centers continue, infrastructure there continues. And the oil prices are going to be continuing lower because of what's going on in the geopolitical spectrum. And so AI CapEx is really the swing vehicle of what's going on. Like, are we going to have a bubble in AI, or are we going to have continued growth? I don't know. We might have both. I look back at the internet 25 years ago, and a lot of people were like, this is not going to last. And can you imagine saying that now? Well, I think we're at that same inflection point in AI. Time will tell, and we'll see what happens. So there's 3 scenarios that we can talk about. The first is the soft landing with steady cuts. That's just some modest growth, cooling inflation, a little bit of Fed easing. I'm not sure that's going to happen. I think more like number 2 is going to happen. We're going to have a big AI CapEx boom. We're going to have some inflation toward the end of the year, and we're going to have an investment surge, and that is going to increase infrastructure, increase jobs, increase AI. And I don't think the Fed is going to really pause the easing. I think they're going to lower hard in the beginning, especially when the new chairman comes in. And I think you're going to see easing throughout the year. That's how I see it. But if that happens, you're going to see winners in semi-caps, semiconductors, memory, power and grid build out, like I mentioned before. The third one is like we do too much or we don't do enough or whatever, and all of a sudden growth slows to a halt. Well, that's not what's going on right now, so I don't think that's going to be the case. If that's the case, we're going to get even deeper cuts. I already think the cuts are baked in. But those are the 3 scenarios that I want you to look at. All right. AI picks and shovels. If you know what happened back in the gold rush in the 1800s, people were going out and they were spending money to go get gold. Well, the gold was the thing that they thought they were getting, but the people that made the money were the ones that were selling in the picks and the shovels and the tents and the hotel infrastructure and those kinds of things. So you want to kind of start to look at those areas very quickly. All right, power and grid build out. Now, I mentioned this already, but that's where you want to kind of look. Who's going to make the money on the grids being built out if we don't, bubble this thing in AI? The small caps. The small caps have been basically out of favor for a long time. And now I think they're going to come back in, especially these small caps that are going to be niche driven, power, grid, chips, small companies that, could become big companies. That could be a big sector for us. And then selective consumer discretionary. Not all the consumer discretionary, but you get to decide what a more defensive and discretionary area is going to be for you. All right. Bottom line is, as we get to the close here, you've got to be very careful, as always, but especially this year. Like, don't be trying to pick the bottom in oil. I don't think we're there yet. And I think we're going to get more oil into the market that's going to lower the prices. Good for us at the pumps, good for people that are needing energy. But, don't try to pick the bottom. Okay. So, in anything you do, try to pick quality and try to pick things that are at least part of a momentum story. Banks, I got two different stories on this. One of them is that the banks are going to be hammered because of interest rate cuts. The other one is banks are the ones that are going to be putting the money out into the economy. They're going to get underwriting fees and loan fees, and they're going to be getting a lot of velocity through their entities. I don't know. It's a mixed bag. I think banks are probably going to be doing okay this year. I'm not sure that oil is going to be doing okay this year, but I think energy overall is going to do well. But it doesn't really matter what I think. I'm just trying to stir your brain to start doing some research and putting the story on a macro level together more than just taking, what somebody says on CNBC as gospel, right? Because a lot of those people are wrong. Think about the people that are like, Bitcoin's going to be $150,000, $250,000 by the end of the year. Where are they now, right? Why would you make predictions? Try to make probability guesses. Don't try to make predictions. I don't know if energy is going to go up or down. I don't know if banks are going to go up or down. I'm just trying to position myself that if I'm got the probabilities in my favor, and I figured that out by using charts, that I might be able to make a buck or two on it. That's all. I don't know anything, right? Okay, so here are some factors to watch. Inflation versus capital expenditures, the oil price trajectory, right? And we're going to see a lot of talk about oil here, at least in the first quarter. And then we're going to see towards the second quarter, as the new Fed chairman comes in, we're going to see policy reality versus market expectations being a very, very big story. So I think we're in for a pretty good year. I think the economy is doing well. I think there's some job rotation that's going on because of AI. Smart companies are positioning with AI to enhance their business, and that's going to displace some people that are maybe expendable, and they get to rotate into something that they're better at. So I think overall, we're in for a good year. But why don't you put in the comments what you think? I think we're in for a good year. We'll see. Anyway, I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.